Hey guys, Unicorn Mama here, and today I want to do a video, of course, in my unicorn kigurumi, and I wanted to do a video on basically my pregnancy. A lot of people really didn't know that I was pregnant. I actually kind of made it a surprise on Facebook. If you saw me, then you knew, of course, that I was pregnant, but a lot of people actually didn't get a chance to see me. Like I said, it was a big surprise. I put it out on Facebook the day after I had my daughter, and everybody was like, "What? You were pregnant?" And I was like, "Yep, I was pregnant." So, so I actually got pregnant last year, June of 2016. We were actually trying to get pregnant. It was a very wonderful and glorious surprise when I took my pregnancy test and it actually said pregnant. So it actually made me so excited. It made my husband super excited, and we were just, ready to expand our family. So my pregnancy was pretty rough in the beginning. I will say that I actually did have really bad morning sickness. I was always at the toilet. The toilet and me was my best friend basically, and I had to end up leaving my job because I could barely make it to work. Like, I was so weak all the time because I could never really keep down any of my food, and I could barely even keep down water. So it was pretty rough. From like week 7 to like week 16 is when I finally, was like finally over my morning sickness. Second trimester was perfect. I had a great second trimester. I was getting a little bit bigger. It's finally showing. Nor was moving around a lot, and it actually just made me feel so excited to know that I was about to actually have a daughter come. So it was actually pretty, like I said, I actually wanted a little boy, but my husband wanted a little girl. So when I found that I was actually having a little girl, it actually made me pretty happy that I actually was having a girl for him. So anyway, after second trimester, third trimester hit. Third trimester was pretty good. I had a good third trimester. The only thing is, by the time I hit like 35 weeks, I was just done. I was so done with being pregnant. I was big. I basically was all baby. So like, I didn't have like my hips expand, my legs didn't really get a little bit chunky. It was just basically all I had was tummy. So like, my back was just on, like, it was on fire. So like, when I finally got to like week 40 and nothing had happened yet, I had only dilated maybe like 1 or 2 centimeters maybe by then. I had to talk to my doctor like, "So what we about to do?" Like, I'm about to be late. Like, I ended up being a week late. I had her exactly at 41 weeks. The day after my doctor's appointment for my 41 weeks, she scheduled me to be induced. I was induced on March 2nd at 7:30 in the morning. I had Pitocin. I actually had to get antibiotics because I ended up being diagnosed with group B strep, which is just a bacteria that mainly almost all women have in their vaginal canal. But for me, I actually had a little bit more than most people, so they actually had to give me antibiotics during my labor, so that way when she passed through, she wouldn't end up getting any like bacteria in her eyes and in her mouth area. Especially since she was just being born, it would definitely, it would make her sick. So, like I said, I had Pitocin, I had antibiotics, had to get a Foley ball put in, which is basically something that expands your cervix, so that way you can basically get your centimeters up faster. Because I was at 3 centimeters for a while, and I was actually 3 centimeters for almost, like, I don't know how many hours until the Foley ball was actually doing what it was supposed to do, and I actually got to like 6 centimeters with it in. So then they took that out. So then I got an epidural. That was rough. It was just a lot of pressure in my back. At first it was painful when it first went in, and then after that, man, I was pressing that button for that pain medicine like, yes, give me them drugs. Like, it was just like, please pump it in now. Because that Pitocin, when it hits, oh my God. Like, if you know what a period cramp is, all women know what a period cramp is. Guys, y'all don't know, but women, you know what a period cramp is. That Pitocin makes it tenfold, okay? Now, I know giving birth makes your contractions tenfold. Pitocin makes it 10 times worse because they're coming in strong and powerful, and they're like knocking you out in the goddamn face. They're like, ugh. It's like 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, and I'm just like, please make it stop. Like, make the pain stop. So the epidural definitely helped. So then I actually, and then I had to get a catheter put in. That was like the worst thing in the world because, you know, a catheter is so that way, you know, you can flush out your urine. I know it's just gross, but just bear with me. So, like, I had to get all that put in. And then finally, the doctor was like, all right, Sam, you're at 10 centimeters. It's time to push. And I'm like, okay, time to push. So I ended up starting to push. And, of course, guess what? I can't really feel the pushing. They're like, oh, you need to feel the pain so that way you're able to push her out properly. So they had to turn off my epidural, which, oh my God, which made me feel like hell. I was like, oh no, like, not my payments. But I was pushing her, and then all of a sudden I would stop, and then she would retract back in, and I'm like, come on, Nor, come on out. So I would push one more good push, and then she would revert back in. And then my doctor said the words I really did not want to hear. You have to get an episiotomy. Oh, sorry, honey. Okay, hold on 1 second, guys. Here you go. Hey, Nor. I'm talking about you. So anyway, I always have her beside me, laying beside me. I can't get enough of this little girl. But anyway, back to her coming out of me. So, where was I? Oh yeah, so I was finally pushing and she kept coming back in, and I was pushing her and she kept going back in. Like I said, I had to get an episiotomy, which is basically where they, bear with me guys, when they cut you. And I had a mirror watching as I was pushing, and when I saw, sorry, TMI, when I saw all that blood gush out, I thought I was going to cry. But I didn't feel anything because I was still numb. So, thank you, God. So, once that slip happened, she just was like, boop. She just popped right on out, and they put her right on my tummy. And when I tell you, I boo-hooed like a little baby. Like, I was probably crying, like, I was probably crying louder than she was. I was like, my baby, she's here, my baby is here. So I was just crying, and then they took her, and they gave her little vitamin K shots, and they took her and weighed her. She was, she was 8 pounds, 15 ounces. Yes, guys, pushed out an 8-pound baby, basically 9-pound baby. Yes, honey. Here you go, your bink. She loves them. She'll put her bink in her mouth. Like, I'll put it in her mouth, and then she'll be like, boop. And then she'll look up at me and start crying like, where's my binky? I'm like, you put it out your mouth, dude. Like, come on, man. But I always put it right back in, because as soon as she doesn't have it in her mouth, she'll start crying. And then I'm like, oh, yep, there it is. Oh, no, you still got it in your mouth, Nor. Nope, now you don't. You just popped it out. It's time for me to feed you. I know. It's time for me to feed her. So, like I said, the birth was a long process, but like I always tell people, all the pain and everything else that went along with it, Jesus, was so worth it. Will I do it again? Give me a couple years. Give me at least like 2-3 years, 3-4 years. Until I do it again, if I really feel like doing it. But I'm actually going to be going back on birth control, which is another video that I'll probably do later on, talking about that and talking about what brand I'm on and how it makes me feel. Since I was on it before, like a long time ago, and I actually had one that was estrogen and progesterone, and that just, that was like the worst. I actually did not like the birth control I was on before. But this time around, I'm hoping that my OBGYN gave me something that's a little bit better. It's just going to be progesterone. So I'm pretty excited to start that up again because I'm not trying to, you know, have Nora in March and then get pregnant in like this month or May and then be just crying when I'm like, I just had a baby. Like, I'm not trying to have another baby. So so yes, like I'm definitely getting back on the big BC. So I'm gonna make sure that I go ahead and, like I said, make a video on that. But this is basically just, you know, me just talking about my pregnancy because I realized I never really talked about it to a lot of people. If anyone asked me about it, I would definitely tell them about it, but I never actually really got a chance to talk about it and really like discuss like what happened throughout my whole pregnancy. Like I said, it was painful but worth it. It's always painful but worth it. My little Nora is basically like, she's my little princess. I love her so much. I love holding her. I love changing her little diapers, even though they can be very poopy and very deadly. I love feeding her. Sleeping has been, you know, on and off. Some nights I'll get a chance to sleep, which is a godsend. And then other nights it'll be like, she'll be like looking at me like, nah, you're not sleeping. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You're not sleeping tonight. Tonight is going to be my night. Tonight is my night to scream and to cry and to just look at you and be awake, and you just have to deal with that. Which, I mean, you know, it is what it is. It's life with a newborn, so I'm not going to be, you know, upset unless I'm like dead tired. Then I'm like, all right, I push my husband like, you gotta wake up, cause I'm sleepy and I want to sleep at least for like an hour. Like give me 5 minutes. Give me like 5 minutes. But anyway, I just wanted to, like I said, make this video. Comment down below about your pregnancy, if you are pregnant, trying to get pregnant, or have already had your child, and basically your journey. Like, I would love to know everyone else's journey with their pregnancy. See if they had anything that I had to get done, if you had to get a Foley ball, if you had to get an episiotomy, which is like the worst thing, and healing from an episiotomy. Healing is just, oh yes, honey. Yes. Healing was like hell. But up. I gotta get ready to feed her, guys. So anyway, Unicorn Mom here. Unicorn Mom. She's making me. I'm ready to say bye to y'all, but it's like she's like, no, don't say bye, Mom. Look at me first. Okay. You gonna be good? You gonna let me say bye to everybody? You gonna let me say bye? Huh? Alright. Alright, guys. Peace.